Greetings, I'm Emmett, this is my channel, and today should hopefully be somewhere around 4th of July. So I was working on a project for about a month now, but then when I saw that 4th of July was coming up, I was like, hey, why don't I take a little break and celebrate the holiday summer fun? As I was thinking about this idea, I was brought back to my childhood, where I would find much enjoyment in blowing toys of mine into smithereens with firecrackers. That's right, I was essentially Sid from Toy Story, only I was a happy child. I was also reminded of a time when I tried to make a cannon by taping up the end of a toilet paper tube, putting a firecracker down in it, and then lighting it, of course, and then putting a rock in the end to see how far it would shoot. I could never quite get it to work, but then an idea occurred to me. I wonder if I could get that to work nowadays. And just a disclaimer, I would not suggest that you take firecrackers lightly, even though they seem to be getting less and less powerful according to my dad. You should still always have adult supervision when doing anything even slightly dangerous. Why don't I have adult supervision, you may be wondering? Well, I don't need it. Well, I did just finally turn 18, so this is my way of celebrating. Booyah. So let's get to work. I'm going to replace the paper towel tube with CPVC pipe. So put the cap on, make sure it's on there tight. Then I'm going to use a marble for the projectile. Before I build the cannon though, I'm going to do some tests just to see if the firecrackers even work. Because in all my earlier tests years ago, the firecracker power was either very inconsistent or kind of non-existent. So I'm going to take it outside and see what I can do. So the first couple of tries worked exactly as I was expecting they would. I held the firecracker and the marble above the pipe. I lit the firecracker, I dropped them in as fast as I could, and hightailed it out of there. And then I waited. And then I waited some more. And then after a couple minutes I kicked over the pipe and found that it was a dud. Part of me was thinking maybe it did go off and I just didn't notice because, you know, that's kind of how pathetic some firecrackers are these days. My dad used to tell me stories of firecrackers that would blow up 5-gallon buckets. I'm not entirely sure if I believe him, but I kind of want to see it. From a distance. And from behind blast shields. If I had blast shields, that is. But I knew that I had gotten bigger pops than that before, so I reset everything and tried again. And this time it worked. It worked really well. It worked a lot more than I was expecting. Best case scenario in my mind, I heard a pop and the marble goes maybe like a foot above the pipe and then just falls over. Well, the pop went off, and for a few seconds I was standing there thinking, it's still in the pipe, isn't it? And then it started raining marbles. Well, one marble, and it was like a distance away. I ran to the garage, so I was safe. In other words, it worked. Like a charm. So I'm guessing that the firecracker potency is just luck of the draw. After all, these are like, I don't know, 4-year-old firecrackers. Maybe if I had a pack of new ones, then they would all pop in unison. Well, not unison, but consistently, you know what I mean? Consistent pops. They're fun. Anywho, it's cannon building time. For the base of the cannon, the first thing I did was cut out 3 chunks of pipe. Then I cut each of the chunks in half using a cutter tool on the Dremel. I glued them together, and then glued a lot of popsicle sticks around for a frame. Then I made the barrel by taking the pipe I was using for the tests, gluing another pipe onto it, putting a dowel through that, and making legs out of popsicle sticks. It took me a while to get the legs straight. I had a lot of like gluing and re-gluing and taking it off. They're still a little bit uneven, but effective. I also had to make sure and create kind of a holder for the end of the barrel because it was a little bit off balance and it always wants to tip forward. Then after I had it all glued together, it was time to paint it. The paint job probably could have been better. I was trying to go for like a dark gray with like the silver highlights, but it ended up kind of just, some places it's all silver, some places it's all dark. But I'm not too worried about it looking pretty as long as it works. I designed the legs and the stand so that you can adjust the angle of the barrel. I don't know how often I would really need to do this, I just thought it would be cool to add that element of realism. And now, it's time to test it out. I'm gonna take it outside and shoot it at this foldable thingy to see what kind of damage it does. It worked beautifully. So, I set it up, I put the board in front of it, I lit the firecracker, put them both in the barrel, and then got to a safe distance, and then it went off. And it was beautiful. What a better way to commemorate our national holiday than with celebratory cannon fire. It did exactly what I was expecting to do. The marble left a big dent in the board and then went flying, though part of me was hoping that it would punch all the way through. I don't know if that was far-fetched or not, but I was just like, that could really prove how powerful this thing was if it just went bloop all the way through the board. Part of me is tempted to experiment with different projectiles, but part of me is like, I don't want to get too dangerous with this thing. Happy 4th of July, everyone, and remember, be safe as you blow stuff up. Dang it.